Hello, welcome to the channel, welcome to the first episode of this series, Isle of Man FC Road to the Premier League. Here we are in FIFA 16. Now, as you can see, I have created this custom club, Isle of Man FC. Short bit of background, this is a fictional club I originally created around 4 years ago. This was originally meant to be a series done in FIFA 20, but I had a lot of technical issues and over time I kind of just forgot about it, but I'm reviving it for this year. So here is the club. It is based in the capital of Isle of Man, Douglas, and my thinking behind this club in particular was mainly that Isle of Man has a fairly large population. They're very passionate about football, but they don't really have any football representation high up in the pyramid. There's a few clubs on Isle of Man, but they're very low level, I think amateur or semi-professional. So here is the club. As you can see, we've got the National League loaded in. Unfortunately, I didn't really look into the budget much before making this team, so the transfer budget in the league is a bit all over the place. For this save, we are going with Douglas Harbour Stadium as the name. Now, I was originally going to go with Aloha Park as the stadium because I figured it looks pretty on brand for the team, but I realized that it's quite a small stadium, and if we are going to work our way up to the Premier League, it will look very out of place having a 10,000 capacity stadium in the Premier League. So I decided to go with Stadio El Medio, which has about 30,000 and a half capacity. Okay, so before we go anywhere, I just wanted to go over the saves rules for this save. Here is the general rules. Now, transfer rules, they're pretty loose, really. Can't sign real players unless they're from Isle of Man, e.g. Kieran Tierney. Now, he's probably the most high-profile player I can think of from the Isle of Man. There are a few others playing professionally. I think there's only one other in the game that I would be able to sign, unfortunately, so he might be a good marquee signing once we've moved a little bit further up. That is being if he hasn't retired by then. Obviously, we're not going to be able to go sign him in our first season. Apart from that, I decided we will go with, due to the transfer restriction of being Isle of Man players only, I've decided to go with all youth academy players must be from Isle of Man. Now, obviously, that is not a default nationality in the game, so I've just gone with English nationality as a nationality, and we'll just pretend for the sake of the show that they're from Isle of Man. Now, you'll see here it says all human created players. Now, that is because before this series started, I actually ran a campaign where people could create a player, send me the details, and I would put their player into the game as a player on the team. So the whole starting 11 and a couple of the substitutes for Isle of Man FC are actually people's players, and they will be watching them. So if there is a transfer offer and it comes in, I will contact that player, most likely through Discord, and say like, hey, do you want to leave? Do you want to stay? What do you think? If they do want to leave, they're welcome to go, and I will keep tabs on their players' progression as we go. Now, scouting rules, because I will be relying mainly on scouts and youth academy, there's a couple of rules here. National League, League 2, League 1, maximum total of 4 stars. As you can see, Championship 6 stars, Premier League, if we're not qualified for things like the Champions League, we will have 8 stars maximum, and if we are qualified, there will be no limit on scouts. And also, players must be fully scouted, there's a typo there, fully scouted before buying / recruiting. And then club philosophy is just play a unique brand of attacking football. You know, we want this to be entertaining for the viewers, for the fans, for the club. So big focus on attacking football there. I will be trying to implement custom tactics. I also want tactics to have a lot of feedback from the community if possible. Develop young talent using the club's youth academy. That's kind of a given the transfer rules. And then develop lore with manager and human created players. Now, that's something I will elaborate on probably as this series goes on, but yeah, I am hoping to have some kind of lore or roleplay going on in the server if people are interested in doing that with their players. Now, another thing I must note before we move on is that all games will be CPU versus CPU. I didn't want to be playing the games myself. I figured it's much more realistic if I just watch the games and make decisions from a coach's point of view rather than controlling the players. Okay, here we go. Now, pre-season tournaments. In this case, I would normally go for the most prize money, but a bit more realism here. We'll go with International Champions Cup, located in England, as it's much more realistic for a club this small to be doing a pre-season tournament in England. This is the squad we are working with. Now, for this save, I want to be going with a 4-4-2 diamond, or as I call it, a 4-3-1-2. Now, I will just do a quick meet and greet of the squad, and we'll go through. So, starting off, we have Sean Guinness. He is from Ireland. He is 6'1". Now, all players by default will be about 17, 18 years old. That's so we can just get the most out of them as we progress through the leagues, just so people can watch their players develop as much as possible. Yeah, not much to note really, just a solid, really solid goalkeeper, especially for his age. Main strength, I would say, would be his kicking and positioning. Not bad reflexes either. We have Mateus, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Mateus Silva, also 17 years of age. Biggest strength is probably strength and stamina. Now, all of these attributes were auto-generated. I just kind of auto-generated them at a rough average of 62-ish. Finlo Quayle is our centre-back. He is born and bred Isle of Man, this guy, and he is 6'4". He is a massive, 6'4" at 16 years old is insane. He is, yeah, he's going to be a massive player at the back. I think him and Ruben Sandoval will be these big centre-backs. Now, Ruben Sandoval, shout out to the person who created him. They were actually part of my original concept 4 years ago, and they've come back and created their player again, which I think is incredible. Left back, we have Cyrus Holden, Scotsman, 5'9", so not as tall as some of the other defenders, but he still has some great attributes in there, especially his slide tackles, interceptions, marking. Those are the standouts. Now, defensive midfield, we have Guilherme. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He is our Brazilian central defensive midfielder. Yeah, he's a brilliant player. Then in central midfield, we have Jakov Fraten. I've probably butchered that pronunciation. He is from Croatia, as you can see. Solid acceleration and sprint speed there. That's probably the standouts. And his long passing and short passing. Good passing stats there. Then we have Ollie Sparks from England, also 16 years of age. 71 ball control and 72 stamina are probably the standouts for him. One thing I have noticed with these created players is their contracts are all expiring in 12 months, which isn't great. I probably should have checked that before starting this. That might be an issue later down the track in terms of finances, but we'll see. Moving on to Cam, we have Julian Rodriguez. Gosh, I butchered that pronunciation again. This guy is really exciting, very skillful. Obviously that won't show up on the stats here, but he's a very skilled dribbler, has a lot of skill moves in his pocket, which is great to see. On the right hand side at striker position, we have Abdo. He is from Egypt, I believe. Yes, we've got an Egyptian striker, 6 foot tall, great finishing there. Yeah, good finishing, good sprint speed, good dribbling. Really solid as striker. Bit of a Mohamed Salah on the Isle of Man. And then left wing / left striker, we have Imelda Potter from the Netherlands. Standout there is definitely stamina and sprint speed. Yeah, she's quick. Then our 2 bench players, we have David Trest from Bosnia, which is another cool little unique nation there. Good acceleration and curve, which is quite a unique technical ability to have. So cool player coming off the bench. And then finally we also have George Owens with the Mohawk there from Wales, 6'2" tall, so quite tall, not bad height there, and he's also got great vision and sprint speed. So that is the squad for now. This is what we are working with. Captain, I'm going to go with Sean Guinness. I don't know why, I just like having goalkeepers as captains for some reason. As we progress, I think I will be working a lot more on custom tactics, but for now I'm just going to leave it on default. I might stick it on high pressure for now. Instructions I will leave for now, just as it's a pre-season tournament. It doesn't matter too much. We're mainly in it for the prize money. Here you can see our kit selection for the season. I made these myself. They're custom kits. Our home sponsor is Ockles Brewery. That's a Isle of Man local company. The away kit is sponsored by Douglas Seafood & Co., which is actually a sponsor created by one of the members in the Discord server, so thank you for that. And the alternate kit is sponsored by Isle of Man Steam Packet Company, who run the ferry service to the island. So we're going to go with home kit for this match and away for Derry City. Here we go, our first match of the pre-season kicking off here against Derry City. Here we were in the first half. Now, Mateus Silva just being dribbled past there by Derry, and it was a good chance for them. Played into the box, but not a problem for Quayle at centre-back. Now, the throw-in after this led to another chance, but it was over the bar, so no real test for Guinness that early on. But yeah, poor defending to give such an easy shot away. Later in the second half, won the ball back. Great little passage of play here from the midfield, and also our forwards just linking up and then playing it out to Cyrus Holden on the wing, but unfortunately he just stuffed up his pass there. This was another moment where Mateus Silva was caught out of position. Quayle coming across to help and winning the ball. No nonsense, just kicking it out. Here we go, the first corner. This was our first real test from a set piece in the first half. And first real chance for our centre-backs, our big, tall defenders in Quayle and Sandoval to prove themselves, and it wasn't an issue whatsoever. 0-0 at half-time. Relatively quiet first half there for both teams. Definitely Derry City with the majority of the chances created there. Here's just a little bit of a highlight reel of the first half. You can see a couple of shots over the bar there from Derry. Victorio going in for the tackle there. Here was that block there from Sandoval off the inside of his boot. You can see him celebrating that block. Very solid defensive performance from the team. Going into the second half, and it wasn't long before Derry had another chance, winning the ball back, but then Guinness just kicking it straight back to the opposition, and we were very lucky that they didn't get a shot on target there. Very poor defending, but also an incredibly poor shot from Derry. This was our first substitution of the match, taking off Rodriguez and Vartan. They both played fairly poor in midfield, so I thought we could bring on Owens and, of course, our other midfielder, Trest, just to prove what they can do. Now this was an immediate counter off of that corner. Great passing there from Potter, link-up play to Sparks, who played off to Owens. Owens off the bench and already willing to prove himself. Linking up with Abdo and having this shot from outside the box, our first shot of the game 60 minutes in, which isn't the best sign. I think tactically things need to change if we want more shots. Not the worst effort there from Owens, especially after just coming on. Really wanting to prove himself for the team. And honestly, it wasn't too far wide there. This is getting quite late in the game here, but we were on the front foot. Abdo unlucky not to get on the end of this, and also unlucky not to get a corner. I was very surprised when this became a goal kick, but it is what it is. Here we go, not long after this, Derry hitting us on the counter, and then just a bit of a mix-up between Mateus Silva and Quayle at centre-back, kind of running into each other and forcing an absolutely brilliant save there from Sean Guinness. Great hands, always reliable in goals. And that was really his first proper save of the match, coming quite late in the game. And it was on this corner I was actually saying to myself, we haven't really been tested yet. And my words kind of came back to bite me, as you will see. So they whipped the ball in, great header there, and absolutely brilliant save there from Sean Guinness, forcing the ball onto the post. Great reflexes, and there you can see, 17 years of age, 3 saves in his first match. That was that earlier save. Just brilliant performance there from Guinness, really helping keep the team in the game. And that was it. Here is just a little highlights reel put together by the game. As you can see, most of the chances were going Derry's way, but really solid defensive performance there from the team. Defending really well. There you go, a bit of a tussle there with Sparks. Great aggression from him during the match. He did really well to press the ball. Derry did have a lot of chances. There was that shot from George Owens. Unlucky not to get that one on target. It was a great little bit of build-up play there. This was that first real save from Sean Guinness. Doing a great job there to get over and turn that over his bar. Great agility too. He's not the tallest player on the pitch. And then here was that brilliant save right at the end, just as you can see, forcing it onto the post. What a save. Keeping us in the game right at the death. Here is the table. We are currently sitting second in the International Champions Cup. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in for the first episode. The next episode will be out soon. Thank you so much, and goodbye.